This is Histories of Mysteries. I'm Ashley.
And I'm Jessica. And on this week's episode, Ashley is going to be talking about the murder of Skylar Neese. And I am going to be talking about Frank Hopkins.
Ooh, I've never heard of him.
He's not, you know what? One of my favorite movies is Hidalgo.
Mm-hmm.
It is a movie about the life of Frank Hopkins. And it was all a fucking lie.
Oh no.
And I've been wanting to research him forever. And it basically just turned into a rabbit hole of his lies.
Oh.
So it's really short because I was really hoping that I could talk about the big 3,000-mile race he did. And it was a lie. So
That's really sad.
It is really sad.
Well, my story is also sad, but for other reasons.
Okay.
I used All That's Interesting.
Oh,
2 weeks in a row, Jess.
I know. I love that. They're amazing.
They are. They're really good. Investigationdiscovery.com and WBOY 12. It's a news station. Oh. Well, boy, that's the news station. All right. Trigger warning. This is about a murder of a young teenager. So.
Oh, 2 weeks in a row. I don't like this trend.
I know. It's definitely not as bad as the Sylvia, but it's not good. All right. So July 6, 2012, 16-year-old Skylar Neese did not show up for her job at Wendy's. And she had never not shown up, which good for her, man. 16 years old. She's like perfect attendance at her job. That's crazy.
I was like me at my job.
Oh, really? I don't know if I was. My first job when I was 16 was at Bob Evans. I don't know if you guys have that restaurant in Canada.
Nope.
It's like a breakfast restaurant, kind of like do you guys have IHOP or Denny's?
I think we have IHOP. We might have Denny's. I don't know. If we do, they're in like Niagara or Toronto.
Okay. Gotcha.
Like I definitely don't have them here where I am.
Okay. Yeah, Bob Evans is like a breakfast restaurant. So like they can't serve alcohol, so young kids can work there, like 16 years old, you know.
Yeah, my first job was Tim Hortons.
Oh, very Canadian of you.
I
know. So when she didn't show up, her parents did start to panic right away because this was not like her. And they went into her room and found her cell phone charger, her toiletries, and her toothbrush. So they knew she didn't run away because what 16-year-old does not take their cell phone charger?
When was this?
2012.
Oh.
They immediately filed a missing persons report with the police. And after they had filed that report a little bit while later in the day, because they were calling and asking around, one of Skylar's best friends called Skylar's mom. And she's like, hey, I need to tell you that we all snuck out last night. And her mom was like telling the story to the news article, said she proceeded to tell me that her, Skylar, and Rachel, they were like 3 best friends, had snuck out the night before and that they had driven around Star City, which was the city that they were in. It's in West Virginia, actually. They were getting high and that the 2 girls had dropped her back off at the house. She said that the girls told her that they dropped her off at the end of the road because she didn't want to wake them up, like sneaking back in if they pulled into the driveway. And that was the last time they had seen her.
Oh.
And sure enough, Skylar was on the apartment's cameras that night, sneaking out and getting back into a gray sedan. One odd thing was that the times were off. So Sheila said they picked her up at 11 and dropped her back off before midnight, but the camera shows her actually getting picked up around 12:35 a.m. So, yeah, is that weird? Or like, did she just get the time wrong? I don't know. On July 7th, the day after Skylar went missing, Skylar's mom, with the help of Sheila, which was one of Skylar's best friends, and Sheila's mom, started looking all over the area for Skylar. Rachel, the other best friend, so there's the three of them. There was Skylar, Rachel, and Sheila. They were best friends. And Rachel couldn't help because she had left to go to a church summer camp. Her family was super religious.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
As the investigation into Skylar's disappearance started, Corporal Ronnie Gaskins, one of the investigators on her case, said that people kept telling him that Skylar went to a house party, overdosed on heroin, and died. And that people at the party freaked out, so they just disposed of her body.
What?
Yeah. So this is the story he was getting from people around town.
Oh my God.
But he said something was off because in these stories, every single person he spoke with had the exact same, like verbatim.
Oh, gross.
He said that Sheila was acting like he said she was just acting wrong, is what he said. And Rachel was acting, quote, scared to death.
Oh.
Yes. Skylar, Sheila, and Rachel all attended the same high school in Morgantown, West Virginia. And Skylar and Sheila had actually known each other since they were 8 years old. And Rachel joined the duo freshman year of high school. Both Rachel and Sheila had parents who were divorcing, and so Skylar was kind of like the rock for them and helped the two girls through that rough time. And I don't know about you, but I had kind of a similar situation in high school. So my best friend in high school, her name was Mallory. Her and I were best friends since like second grade. And then when we got to high school, we met Danny, I think maybe our freshman year, and she kind of became the trio. And so it was me, Mallory, and Danny. But we're a bunch of teenagers. There was always some jealousy about who was closer to who, who was hanging out with who more.
Yeah.
And Mallory and Danny are still friends, and I'm not friends with them anymore, so I think we know who won. But
oh my God.
No, I just went off with a different group of friends. But so Sheila apparently was like the fun-loving girl of the trio. She was basically part of Skylar's family because they had been friends for so long. She was one of those friends that would just let herself in, didn't have to knock. She just came out right on in Skylar's house. And her parents said that she was kind of like having another daughter. She also had a lot more freedom by her parents than Rachel or Skylar had. Rachel was a bit opposite of Sheila. She was raised in a strict Catholic family and, quote, idolized Sheila for her wild and carefree attitude. Aww. So each of these girls had a place in the trio. Kind of had like the rock, the wild one, and the strict Catholic one. But like we just mentioned, just like any other teen group of friendships, jealousy started and fighting happened. Skylar Neese posted things on her Twitter. They were really big on Twitter, so they tweeted all the time. And on May 31st, 2012, so this was before, obviously it was before she went missing, but like 2 months before she went missing, Skylar tweeted, "You're a two-faced bitch and obviously fucking stupid if you thought I wouldn't find out."
Whoa. Were you into Twitter?
No, I never got into Twitter.
We were really big into Tumblr.
Oh, yeah, we never got into Tumblr. So I'm going to go way back, Jessica. You probably have never even heard of this.
MySpace?
Nope, Zanga. We were really big into Zanga.
It sounds familiar, but I don't think I ever used it.
It was kind of like, it was the preface to MySpace, kind of. So it was like your own website. And you could post, so stupid, Jessica. You could post like quizzes for your friends to take. So you could post like, who has the best hair? And then people would like vote, or like, who's the nicest? And then so stupid.
It's hilarious. I love that.
So another tweet that Skylar made from that spring was, "Too bad my friends are having lives without me." So at this point, you can see that Skylar's starting to get a little bit jealous of Rachel and Sheila.
It's the Ashley.
It's the Ashley. She thought that they were becoming closer together than she was with either of them. One classmate said, quote, Sheila and Skylar were fighting a lot. One time sophomore year, me and Rachel were at practice for Pride and Prejudice, and Rachel had her phone up to her ear and she was laughing. She was like, listen to this. Sheila and Skylar were fighting, but Skylar didn't know that Sheila had put her on a call with Rachel, and Rachel was listening into their fight.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah. The day before Skylar went missing, she tweeted, you doing shit like that is why I can never completely trust you. Then the afternoon before Skylar went missing, she tweeted, sick of being at fucking home. Thanks, friends. Love hanging out with you all too. So something was clearly going on between the friends. And one state trooper assigned to the case, Chris Berry, thought maybe these girls had something to do with her disappearance.
Maybe this is a Slender Man situation.
Maybe. So he actually created a fake online persona of an attractive college boy who went to West Virginia University. And using this fake profile, he followed the girl's profile and were able to kind of like read what they were posting. And he said that Sheila seemed very perky. You know, one of her best friends is missing, but she's like fine. And Rachel was reserved and quiet online, but neither were posting about their missing friend. Sheila even posted a picture of her and Rachel together, but never once did they mention like, hey, our friend's missing. We're looking for a friend, any information, you know, and nothing like that.
Yeah.
On November 5th, 2012, Sheila tweeted, no one on this earth can handle me and Rachel. If you think you can, you're wrong.
Okay.
And we all know that the internet can be a wild, wild west, cruel place. And eventually people started kind of taunting the girls, and they were saying, you know, we know that you murdered Skylar and it's only a matter of time before you get caught. Like people all over were starting to taunt them. The police were also putting a lot of pressure on them and bringing them in for multiple interviews, which I'm kind of surprised they can do without being harassment, but they did. They kept bringing them in and bringing them in.
I think as long as you don't detain them.
Maybe, yeah. And then the article said, then Colbank, who was the state trooper on the case, realized that the car in the security footage belonged to Sheila.
Duh.
Yeah. This was 4 months later.
What?
Yeah.
Even with you just telling me the story, it's like, of course it's her fucking car.
Yeah. And like, how did it take them 4 months to figure out it was her car? Anyway, they also found the same car on surveillance video of a store in Blackstone, West Virginia, which is west of Star City. But the girls said they went east. So here they are caught in another lie. And again, these girls are only 16. So they're getting this pressure online. They're getting this pressure from the cops. I'm sure they're getting pressure from other students in their school. And they're just not mature enough to handle it. I mean, most adults aren't mature enough to handle that. And so on December 28th, 2012, Rachel kind of lost it. Her mom called 911 and was saying, I have an issue with a 16-year-old daughter of mine. I can't control her anymore. She's hitting us. She's screaming. She's running through the neighborhood. And you can hear Rachel in the background sobbing and yelling, give me the phone. No, no, this is over. This is over. And then to the dispatcher, Patricia, her mom, said, my husband's trying to contain her. Please hurry. So police get there. And as soon as they do, Rachel blurts out, we stabbed her.
It is Slender Man.
It is very like Slender Man. Apparently, about a month before, both Sheila and Rachel were sitting in science class and, quote, agreed that maybe they should just kill her.
Just stop being her friend.
I know, right? This is crazy.
Like, what the fuck? Just say we don't want to sit with you.
Yeah.
And
You can't sit with us.
yeah.
You don't
And
even
then
go here.
that's that.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, even Mean Girls threw Regina in front of a bus. They didn't stab her. I just don't.
I know. I know.
I don't understand.
I don't either. So, according to Rachel, the night of Skylar's murder, Rachel grabbed a shovel and Sheila grabbed 2 knives. Both girls brought cleaning supplies and a change of clothes, and off they went. They said that Skylar just assumed they would be driving around, having some fun, smoking weed. And they go to this specific spot in the woods in Pennsylvania, which is really close, like right across the border, um, to smoke weed. And so that's where they were going. And when they got there, Rachel and Sheila were like, "Oh, we forgot something in the car. We got to go get it." And so they kind of positioned themselves behind Skylar. And Rachel said, "On three." And then both girls jumped on Skylar and started attacking her. Rachel said that at one point Skylar got away, but the girls had stabbed her in the knee, so she couldn't run very far.
What fucking cowards. Who attacks from behind?
I know. Apparently, after being stabbed several times and lying, bleeding out, Skylar asked, "Why?" And police asked Rachel the same question, and all she said was, "We didn't like her." In January, Rachel took police to where they had left Skylar, but it had snowed, so they couldn't find her. But with Rachel's confession, they had enough to charge the girls with murder. So the case moved forward, even without a body. But a week later, they were able to locate Skylar's body. At this point, though, it was nearly unidentifiable, and it took the crime lab about 2 months before they confirmed that it was indeed Skylar. On May 1st, police arrested Sheila after they were able to match blood samples from her trunk to Skylar. And Sheila was charged with first-degree murder and pled guilty. She was sentenced to life in prison with possibility of parole after 15 years. So her parole comes up May 1st, 2028. Rachel was found guilty of second-degree murder and received 30 years. So my only thought between these two, why one got first degree and one got second, is because one confessed. So she probably got a lighter sentence.
Yeah.
So Rachel will be 46 when she gets out. She is eligible for parole after 10 years. So her parole hearing is actually coming up this May 1st. Of the sentencing, Skylar's dad said, "They're both sickos and they're both exactly where they need to be, away from civilization, locked up like animals, because that's what they are. They're animals."
Like, wasn't one of them Catholic?
Yeah. Went to church camp.
And another one was like her best friend since they were 8.
Yep.
Like, for fuck's sakes.
Yep.
How
And
do you just
even
like stop liking somebody to the point that you're going to
murder
kill
them.
them?
And even to this day, when they ask them why, they just say, "We just didn't like her anymore." There's like no other reason that they've ever given for it.
And it's so personal.
Yeah. Yep. So her dad occasionally visits a tree in the woods in Pennsylvania where she was murdered. And he decorates it with photos. And he said that he wanted to take a horrible thing that happened here and try to turn it into something good, a place that people can come and remember Skylar and remember the good little girl that she was, and not the little beast that they treated her like. They also helped to pass Skylar's Law, which requires the state to issue an Amber Alert for all missing children, even if they don't believe that they were kidnapped. Like if they think they were run away or whatever, it doesn't matter. You have to issue an Amber Alert.
Good. I mean, sorry, I just like I still don't think that would have helped her, but
No, and they said
that's
that.
really good.
Yeah, they said that too. They're like, she was already dead before we even knew she was missing, but at least we can help some kids, you know?
Well, exactly, right? Like that's a good thing.
And Skylar's parents also began speaking at schools, churches, and prisons about what they call Skylar's promise, which Skylar's killers had plotted the murder over a long period of time. And other students in the university overheard, but they didn't take it seriously or think it was serious. And they said, quote, "They were sent to the office and the principal said, they make good grades," and sent them back to class. They didn't even look into it. They didn't try to find out what was going on. But Skylar's promise is basically telling kids, hey, I promise if I hear something like that, I'll take it to a responsible adult, a guidance counselor, or anyone like that that can do something about it. And he also said he was speaking at prison one time and talking about like the net of grief that when you murder someone, it creates. And one of the prisoners was like, I did that. I killed someone years ago. And I didn't even think about like how far that grief would go through her family and stuff like that. So thankfully they were able to take something truly awful and get a little bit of positive out of it. So
yeah, that's good.
yeah.
I always love when it's bittersweet when something like tragic like that happens, and then that's when a law is put into place.
Yeah. Yeah.
I hate that something horrible has to occur for a law to be put in place.
Yeah. Yeah, and you can look up, the girls are both still in jail.
Good.
You can look up their recent mugshot. I can't remember which one, but one of them's smiling in it and their hair's curled and it's just, I hate it. But that anyway is the story of the murder of Skylar Neese.
I hated it.
Me too.
But you did a great job, so thank you.
Thank you. All right, let's hear about your film of lies.
I'm really depressed about this.
Oh no.
It was such a good movie, and I'll probably watch it still because I love it. Viggo Mortensen is in it.
Oh,
It's
I do
amazing.
like him.
Oh, he's a dreamboat. I don't think I would like him in real life because he looks creepy, but his characters are just like,
yeah, I get that. Yeah.
oh, okay. So let's start. It's a super short one. And then I'm going to talk about some ridiculous Canadian laws afterwards.
Ooh, okay.
Because I found when I'm like, I can't do an episode on this, but I can add them to the end.
Perfect.
So, Frank Hopkins. His illustrious career is said to have begun when, on his 12th birthday in 1877, he started working as a dispatch rider for the U.S. government.
At 12?
At 12.
Wow.
Later that year in Arizona, Billy the Kid was said to have been saved by this cheery boy Marvel from the Apaches. But he had just begun his incredible career. So, remember, this is all hearsay.
Okay.
The fake cowboy claimed to have triumphed in more endurance contests than any other person in history, including an 1886 race that covered 1,800 miles from Galveston, Texas to Rutland, Vermont. And such a race had never occurred.
Yes.
At least pick something that was like a thing. Right?
Yeah.
Like
that. Yeah, like a race that actually existed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopkins said that Buffalo Bill Cody hired him to be the star and ringmaster of the Wild West show for 32 years as a result of his astonishing fictional victory in this fictitious race. However, Hopkins was not listed in the Buffalo Bill Museum's database of known cast members, associates, employees, or friends of Colonel Cody. And this was according to the curator of that museum. So, this man. Hopkins then asserted that the Wild West show financed for him and his fictitious Mustang Hidalgo to travel to Arabia in 1890 after fabricating his credentials for endurance racing and making up his connection with Colonel Cody. So even his fucking horse isn't real.
Oh, no.
What the fuck, dude? The American rider was invited to compete in a 3,000-mile race across Arabia's scorching dunes, according to the Hopkins legend. Hopkins said that this race had been held annually for a millennium and that up until that point, only the best Arab horses had been permitted to compete. The race was allegedly won by Hopkins and his Mustang stallion Hidalgo, with 33 hours remaining.
Wow.
Experts mocked the whole notion of such a complex equestrian competition in both Saudi Arabia and Yemen, the supposed starting point of the event. This Old West Renaissance man also claimed to have held positions as a great game hunter, secret agent, Indian fighter,
no.
African explorer, endurance racer, trick rider, bounty hunter, rough rider, and Pinkerton detective.
Oh, God.
Hopkins also misrepresented his claim to have seen the carnage at Wounded Knee. Why would you ever lie about being at something like that? Like, fuck, buddy. Hopkins actually held jobs as an underwater diver, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
A subway tunnel digger, and a horse handler for a circus. He lied about a lot of things. But he did steal heavily from the original 1932 version of Black Elk Speaks and disparaged numerous American heroes, including Sitting Bull, Teddy Roosevelt, Buffalo Bill Cody, author Zane Grey, and Western movie star William S. Hart. Like, what a turkey! Come on, dude, get a life. He also established his equestrian travel career by claiming to have traveled by horseback in a few weeks from Germany to Mongolia during the winter. Yeah, okay. And he took the real honors and accomplishments of the real long rider warriors.
Of course he did.
What a fucking twat knuckle. The fictitious long rider claimed to have participated in a well-known march through New York City with President Teddy Roosevelt and the Rough Riders. He appropriated that accomplishment from Bud and Temple Abernathy, who, at the ages of 10 and 6, respectively, rode by themselves in 62 days from New York to San Francisco. Which is really cool. Which is really cool.
That is really cool, but the fact that he said, yeah, it was me too.
Yeah, what a turkey butt.
Yeah, me too, dude.
Hopkins had not received a medal for valor either. He appropriated that achievement from Two Gun Non Aspinwall, the first woman to ride across the country by herself. In reality, there is no evidence to support any of these or several other equally improbable claims. He had never accompanied Buffalo Bill on a ride. Instead, during the Great Depression, he had abandoned his wife and children in favor of having a bigamous relationship with a younger neighbor.
So not only was he lying, but he's also like
a cheater.
Oh, God.
Yeah. No endurance contests have ever been won by him. After abandoning his family in poverty, he made a career by hauling ice and digging tunnels. He had no land to call his own in Fort Laramie. On Long Island, he lodged with the mother of his girlfriend. What a fucking loser. Many media outlets let these rumors circulate because no one thought to ask for proof. It even went so far as to make it into Disney, which is the movie Hidalgo. They also refused to admit that it was fiction, stating that they had many credible resources. Although,
was it just knows? Him? Just what he said?
I don't know. There was I think there was like a reporter that wrote a bunch of stuff about him and said that it was real and that he had gotten a bunch of resources from credible sources.
Oh, no.
And I think Disney just believed him.
They're just like, yeah, okay, that works.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know who's to blame for that, whether it was Disney or the other guy, but
Yeah.
I mean, Disney still made a good movie out of it.
Yeah.
Um, although in his defense, long distance races weren't super niche back then, and they were widely undocumented because they weren't really supposed to happen.
Gotcha.
So who knows? But an Arab historian, Dr. Awad El-Badi, stated that such
His
a
name is
length
El Batty.
Al-Badi, Beatty, Al-Badi, maybe?
Maybe Body.
Dr.
Batty.
Awad Al-Badi. I think Al-Badi.
I like Batty, like he's a baddie, you know?
He basically stated that that really long 3,000-mile race in the Arabian desert never would have been possible.
Great.
He said, there is no record or reference to Hopkins, with or without his Mustangs, ever having set foot on Arabian soil. The idea of a historic long-distance Arab horse race is pure nonsense and flies against all reason. Such an event in Arabia at any time in the past is impossible simply from a technical, logistical, cultural, and geopolitical point of view. It has it has never been part of our rich traditions and equestrian heritage, said Al-Badi.
Nice.
And that is the story of the liar, Frank Hopkins.
You're so mad.
I'm so mad. I was so excited to do his freaking story and tell you about this race. And then it was just pure lies.
Oh.
All lies.
All lies. What a jerk.
Ugh, what a brat. Anyways, now do you want to hear some laws?
Sure.
Okay. I don't know how true these are, but it's from Narcity, so I feel like it might be okay. Like a credible source.
Okay.
Also I use like the Frank Hopkins Museum website. I think I also use Long Riders Guild, and something else for my sources.
Very nice.
So you could get arrested in Canada for bullying oysters. There's an entire section in the criminal code on the humane treatment of oysters.
Well, I like the humane treatment, but the way you put bullying, it made me laugh. Like, you can't call them jerks or anything.
Yeah.
Can't tell them they're fat.
Yeah. Oh, your pearl's not shiny enough.
What a loser.
I take it back. I take it back. I don't want to be arrested for bullying an oyster. Also, when I was working, I used to work for the police, right? And there was a section in our criminal code that said that it was against the law to partake in a duel.
Duh. Jessica, you can't be out there dueling people. It's
Like,
gotta be a law.
It's just wild that it's still in there, you know?
Yeah.
Smelling bad.
That should be a law.
Yeah, it should be. Drawing crime comics. Especially if the setting involves a Canadian national park.
Oh, you guys take your parks real seriously.
They're beautiful. Scaring the Queen of England. It's like, if ever you had the chance to scare the Queen, don't.
What if you accidentally like startle her?
Right? Pretending to be Harry Potter.
What about for Halloween?
You can't fraudulently practice witchcraft and sorcery. Yeah. Ew. This is so funny. Removing a bandage in public.
Ew.
And it says, nobody wants to see your hideous wound.
Nobody does. Well, some people might. I don't mind it sometimes if they're cool looking.
Using a false name on a telegram. Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
That's like olden day catfishing, right?
Yeah. Killing Sasquatch.
Why would you ever want to?
Exercising in a way that scares a horse.
Oh no. Oh my gosh, I saw this TikTok the other day of this horse got scared by a little like mouse hamster thing and it jumped up so high. I didn't even know horses could do that. It was so funny.
I love that. Oh my gosh. Um, you can't groom your hair while driving.
Oh.
That includes beersmen. Setting fire to a wooden leg.
Sounds like a very specific law that someone very specifically wanted in there.
It's I'm pretty sure it's for Alberta, so that makes sense.
I don't get it.
They're just it's the joke that they're very hickey.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Ontario. Riding a sleigh on the highway without 2 bells on your horse's harness. This is very specific.
Don't you put one bell on there, Jessica?
This is very specific. Dragging a dead horse down Yonge Street. But this act is only prohibited in Toronto on Sundays.
It's funny because you have to think about what happened that made them create these laws.
Yeah. This is an actual bylaw in Etobicoke, which is part of the GTA, like the Greater Toronto Area.
Mm-hmm.
It is illegal, and you can be arrested for having more than 3.5 inches of water in your bathtub.
That's not even a bath then.
I know. Whistling.
Oh, how dare you?
Whistling or heckling in public is not allowed. Playing a musical instrument in public without a permit.
Don't do that.
Impersonating a foreigner. Fixing up your car on the street. Turning right on a red light.
Do you think like too many people were acting like they had British accents? And finally they were like, no more acting like foreigners. We're done.
Probably. Carrying a snake or pet reptile in public in Fredericton, New Brunswick.
Well, that's rude. What if you want to take your snake for a walk?
In Newfoundland, keeping cows in your house.
What if they're cold?
Right.
Wait. Say that place again.
Newfoundland.
Is that really how you say it?
Yeah, it's not Newfoundland.
No, I always thought it was Newfoundland.
Newfoundland. Yeah.
No, you're saying Newfoundland. I thought it was Newfoundland.
Newfoundland.
You said Newfoundland.
Newfoundland? That doesn't sound right.
I don't know. You're the Canadian. I was asking you how to say it.
Out of my mouth. I always say Newfoundland. Oh. Moving along. You can't wear a t-shirt if you're a taxi driver. And that'll get you arrested in Halifax, Nova Scotia. Building a snowman taller than 30 inches for Prince Edward Island folks. And annoying someone at their home, place of business, or meeting place.
Oh, that's a good one.
And that entails ringing the doorbell or knocking on the door with intent to disturb somebody.
That's funny.
And there we go.
I love those. Those were great.
That was my weird mishmash episode.
I love it. And I have jokes, but these were so funny. So I think I'm going to keep my jokes for next episode.
Okay.
So next episode is going to be our like Christmas episode because we're taking the 25th and the 1st off.
And I apologize for the first because my daughter's birthday is on New Year's Eve.
It's her 2nd birthday.
Yeah. She's so sick right now. Oh my God.
Oh, poor baby.
Right now being October 27th.
Yeah. It's going
That's
around
when
right
we're
now.
recording. Oh yeah, everybody has it. Even the doctor said that. He's like, my own child has pink eye.
Yeah. Poor
And
babies.
he's like, I'm not giving her eye drops. It's just something that she needs to work through. And he's like, if she gets worse, let me know. So
poor babies.
I know, but pray for me because we're going on a road trip tomorrow.
Yeah, good luck.
My mom really wants some baby snuggles because we're not going home for Christmas. So
oh, okay.
yes.
Well,
Anyways.
yeah, so we will be taking the 25th and the 1st off. So next week will be like our little Christmas episode. So if you want more of us, you can find us on Instagram and Facebook.
And YouTube.
And YouTube.
And if you would like to rate and review us, you can do so on Apple Podcasts and Spotify.
Yay! And we look forward to bringing you 2 new stories next week.
Bye.